Ba-ba-ba. Welcome. I hope you are tremendous today and very tulis on this Sunday, July 12th, 2026. Posted by SpaceX. Starship's 13th flight test is preparing to launch as early as Thursday, July 16th. They will deploy V3 Starlink satellites for the first time during this test flight. 6 of the satellites have been modified with cameras to scan Starship's heat shield and transmit imagery. Posted. Grok is the most politically neutral and objectively truth-seeking AI. Reflecting Light. Adapted from Matthew 13:22 and Luke 8:8. The seed sown among thorns hears the word, and yet the world's anxiety and the lure of riches choke the word, and that seed bears no fruit. The seed that falls on good ground yields a fruitful harvest. Protecting the harvest, nurturing what matters most. Adapted from Grok. The biblical image from the parable of the sower, that the seed that falls on good ground will yield a fruitful harvest, captures the promise of growth when conditions are right. A seed of potential, faith, or new life, planted in receptive soil, thrives, multiplies, and produces abundance. Our personal harvest often represents our children, the living fruit of our love, values, time, and sacrifice. Once the seeds of their lives have taken root in good ground, through attentive parenting, moral formation, and a stable home, the focus shifts to protecting that harvest so it can fully mature. Protection is essential. A fruitful field is vulnerable because it is abundant. Envy and greed, like weeds, pests, or thieves, threaten to choke, devour, or steal what has been cultivated. Envy acts as a corrosive force from outside and often within the family. It manifests as comparison, resentment, or the quiet undermining of another's success. Children raised in a thriving environment become targets for those who covet their opportunities, joy, or blessings. Unchecked, envy erodes self-worth, breeds division, and turns potential allies into competitors. Protecting the harvest means teaching children to value their own growth without apology, while shielding them from toxic influences that measure worth by what others lack. Greed devours from within. It pushes for more status, possessions, experiences, power, at the expense of character, relationships, and gratitude. A child exposed to unchecked greed learns to treat life as a zero-sum game, chasing endless accumulation rather than stewarding what they already have. Greed will stunt spiritual and emotional maturity, turning a once promising harvest into something hollow or bitter. Just as a wise farmer does not abandon the field after planting, parents and guardians must be active to guard the maturing crop. This involves setting healthy boundaries, limiting exposure to environments or people driven by envy and materialism, cultivating inner resilience, teaching gratitude, contentment, humility, and generosity, so the harvest remains rooted in good soil rather than shifting sands. Modeling stewardship, demonstrating that true abundance is shared, not hoarded, and that protecting the harvest includes protecting the dignity of others. Vigilance without isolation, preparing children to engage the world while discerning what nourishes versus what destroys. The parable reminds us that fruitfulness is not automatic. It requires ongoing care. A bountiful harvest brings joy and provision, but only if defended against forces that would spoil it. By protecting our children, the living harvest, from the withering effects of envy and greed, we help ensure their lives yield lasting goodness for themselves, their families, and the wider world. This is the quiet daily work of turning potential into enduring fruit. Warren Buffett once commented, "I want to give my kids just enough so they feel they could do anything, but not so much that they would feel like doing nothing." It is wise to channel the remainder of one's wealth to true, real, active philanthropy work, and to thus protect one's legacy, to put it to its fullest possible use for the good. Until you see me again, duliness saves the universe. Be well, everyone.